Hello everyone, welcome to this Django programming tutorial by me. I am Dheeraj and today I'll be teaching you about Django model forms, specifically how to create one, how to use one that is handling the post requests, and how to design one. That means how to add CSS styling to those default fields provided to us by Django because those don't look very pretty and we'll make them look beautiful. So now there are a couple of reasons why you might want to use a Django model form, and that is one, you're in a rush. So a Django model form is a form generated by Django from your model directly, so that is quick. Secondly, it handles a lot of validation for you, except if you want custom validation, so that is taken care of. And thirdly, the major reason is that it reduces a lot of redundant code from your project, so uh, essentially you're writing more efficient code. And so let us get started and I'll show it to you as we get into the project how this all works. So this is the particular project that I'm going to be working off with. So it is a simple contact book app in which you can type the details of the contact number, contact, and the other details, and you can save it and then you can view them. So this is the particular form. You can see the custom the field, the placeholder, the background color, and how it lights up. So this is all custom CSS which I have written, but currently this form is set up using HTML forms and not a model form, and we'll be converting this particular form into uh, a model form. So I have the code for this particular project in my GitHub repository, Dheeraj D Lalpani /contact book. If you wish to follow along with me in this tutorial, you can just download the code from here. I'll put the links in the description. And I also wanted to show off a few of the other forms that me and one of my friends have built. So this is a form set up using using Tailwind CSS. So this is also built using model forms. So you can see the custom border and the placeholder and the background color which we have put. So even if you want to check this project and the code for this project also, I will link both of them in my description. So if you'd like to contribute something to my open source projects, you are very much welcome. Thank you so much. And now, without further ado, let's get started with going through the code for this form, and then let's see how we can convert it from from an HTML form to a model form. So before starting to code, I just wanted to let you guys through the project structure that I have over here. This is a simple Django project with the main as the project name, and I've created an app with the name book, and I have my models over here. So this is the contact model, and this is the particular model for which I'm going to be building a form for. And I have my URLs and my views, all of them over here. Also, I have my static files, my CSS which I've pre-written, so that I need not waste time and I can show you how to actually use these classes. So this is a pretty simple CSS. Once you download the code, you can go through it and you will be able to understand what I've done over here. So that was the basic project structure, and feel free to contact me if you have any doubts regarding the project structure or how to go about it. And now that I've explained the project structure, let us get started. So one of the first things that we need to do is we need to create a forms.py file in our app. So inside my book, I will just create a new file, forms.py. So this will help us. This is the place where all our model forms will reside. So now I need to run a few imports. I'll just grab them from here and then I'll explain you why each of these are needed. So the first one is from models, import all. So I've imported my contact model using that command. Now the reason for that is because we are using model forms, so the model form needs to know which model we are building a model form for. So that is why I need to run this import, and the other two imports are provided us by Django. These are the ones which will help us actually build model forms. So after that, we can start building our form. So I can create a class. I'll name the form as new contact form. New contact form, and it extends from the model form. And now I can give it a inside class meta. I need to mention what is the model that we're using to build the form. So we have imported our model from models.py contact model from here. So I will just specify that the model for this form is contact. Uh, oops, auto. Yeah, and then I need to specify what fields are we going to be using for this. So there might be some cases in which you don't want to create a form for all of these fields but only a few of the fields, but in my case I need to show all of them over here. So I can just go like first name, middle name, last name, and I can just build a form off of that. So I just need all the fields, so I'll just specify that I need all the fields. So fields equals all. So I guess we need a double underscore over there, and this essentially just builds the form which we need. Now there are a few more things that we need to do. So now inside my views.py, where I have the form, I have the view for a new form. I need to first import all my forms. So there you go, I have imported my form from forms.py. After importing, now this is, you can see that there is so much code inside over here, you see. So I'll just remove the old code from here. So there you go. So first, what we need to do is, after importing our form, we need to create a form instance. Form equals new tag form. I think I have made a typo over here. Nope. So it is over here. New contact form. And what I essentially need to do is, now I need to add this form to my context. So context equals, so yeah, form form. Now once I've added to my context, I need to return my template along with this form inside the context. So I will return render the request which came with it, request my template name. So that will be book slash new contact.html. Let me just quickly check if I am right. Yeah, new contact.html. Yeah, so after adding my template name over here, now I can send the context along with it, so that the template gets my particular form which I want to share. Now inside my template, I wanted to show that, you can see I've set up a form over here. We need the action and the post to remain, and the CSRF token, but you can see all this code, all this HTML code now needs to go away. So you can see the difference, you can see the amount of difference of like amount of the code that we are reducing by using model forms. So there you go, I can just remove that. So for the time being, I'm just commenting it out, and I'll just show you how to put in your model form over here. And so that is all I need to write. This expands into this whole form over here. So you can see how much code we have already reduced over here. So now let me just fire up my server so that I can show you how this form, what this form is rendering, and then we'll proceed from there. just start my terminal and I'll show it to you. I need to go into my environment slash script slash activate. Now I can see if I haven't made any mistakes, this server will run successfully. Manage.py run server. Let's see. Yes, so the server is working and I think I have made no mistakes. So let us go and see how the form actually looks. So there you go, my friends. So you can see first you can immediately notice that all our styling has gone away, the ones which we had in CSS, because uh, one, it is not getting the CSS that we have written, and secondly you can see these labels are auto generated. So we'll see how to customize these label names, and I'll show you what actually is being rendered over here, and I can just inspect element and I'll show you my form. So yeah, this is my form over here, and you can see how much code is getting rendered over here, how much of a difference we made. So we just wrote this line and this form expanded into all of this code over here. You can see all of these fields, label, and the inputs are auto generated. So that essentially is what a model form looks like as of now. So now a few things which I wanted to show you was that this group was actually a drop down, right? So we need to first make it a drop down. We need to make it back to a drop down, and yeah, these label names and styling is what we need to do now. So I'll show that to you now. So in order to create the drop down for this group field, our first goal is to go to our models.py file and then specifying the choices that we need to provide to this group field. So we need to create a tuple of tuples. So yeah, choices choices will be equal to, now there will be pairs of choices over here, key value pairs, what is getting rendered and what is getting stored. So family, comma, the contact can be a family member, or it can be a friend, or it can be from work, or, or it can be work, oh sorry, or it can be a general contact, uh, general. Once we create this tuple, we need to pass it to our group field. So we can say choices will come from this choices tuple, which we have just created over here. And as soon as we do that, we can go and reload our form over here. And okay, so I think I have made a small mistake. Let's see what the error is. Okay, okay. So I think the error is that I have used a single inverted commas over here, and oh, okay, not the inverted commas. Okay, so there you go, small syntactical mistakes. Yep. Once as soon as I do that, I save this form and let's see if my um. Yep, there we go. My server restarted, Now I can reload my form over here, and there you go. We have a drop down back. Now you can see the default value is a few dashes. I want to set the default value as a general value, so I can come over here and set default equals general. As soon as I save that, you can see now the default value is general. So there you go. We have handled the drop down. Now another mistake that I seem to find over here is that Django model forms by default keep all the field as required, but I don't want that. I want only the first name and contact one to be compulsory, because that's all what a contact needs, and the rest of the fields can be optional, and also the label names first. So let us complete the styling, the label names, and the required attribute. Sorry for the firecrackers. It's a Diwali period, so it's a bit odd time to record, but let's see. So okay, now let's go to our code over here. Now over here now we need to start specifying each of the fields and what custom properties that we need to give. For that I have created a little a small little, I must say, a formula kind of, which will help you to build this form. So this will be the field name. In our case, let us start with the first name. So the field type, it is a char field, char, sorry, ELT, character field. Now, what do we need the label name as? We need a label name as first name. And what is the input type of the widget? So it is a text input. So text input I should be capital, I think. And now we need to specify the attributes. So you know that every HTML tag, most of every HTML tag has a tag name, an attribute, and an attribute value. So if you see this form, so this class is the attribute name, and this box is the attribute value. So similarly, we can set attributes over here. So using this, we can send our CSS classes. So I can say I want the class attribute, and the attribute value I want it to be the class name from our CSS. So this is the input box class, and I can just send my class name through this dictionary over here. So I will say input box, and the placeholder, and I want the placeholder to be Joe. So as soon as I save that, and hopefully if I haven't made any mistakes, my server will run. Yes, my server is running, and I can go and reload my form. You see, we have our stylings, and our uh, label is correct, our placeholder is there, our stylings are back. So that is how you style a Django model form. Now the next goal is to the required keyword. So we don't want all the files to be required. So what we will do is we will so okay, let me just copy all my other forms down, and then we'll see. So now that I have written out all my other fields along with the stylings which I want to give, so there are a few things which I thought that it is necessary that I should point out. The first thing is that emails have their own email field. So we can specify forms.email field for an email, and for an address I have used a character field. But Django gives us different widgets for different kinds of character fields. For example, in the first case it was just a text input or an input box, but in the case of an address we need a text area, because an address can be longer. So I've created a use the text area widget instead of the text input widget. So and the third thing which I wanted to show was uh, that the group, even though it is a character field, but in an HTML form, it renders as a select drop down. So the Django model forms also provides us with a select drop down. So over here I have used the select field, and for choices, you remember we had imported everything from our models.py file. So in that case, you can see we have our choices tuple over here, and we are using the exact same choices tuple to mention what choices do we need in our drop down, and that is there for the select field. And for the add to favorites boolean, we have used a boolean field, so it is a boolean field, and the widget we have used over here is the checkbox input. So one thing that we need to note over here is that I've set the default as false, that by default it won't be set to true. So with that being said, let us see how our form now looks. So there you go. This is what our form looks like. So we have all our placeholders, and basically all the styling that we need is done. That we needed is done. Now addressing the first issue which I had said was that we don't need all the forms to be compulsory. We just need the first name and the contact one field to be there. So we can specify required equals false, like this. So as soon as we do that, you can see, and I'll reload my form over here. I'll inspect, and I'll show you that the middle name input field is no longer has the required attribute. You can see all the rest of the inputs have this required attribute, but since I mentioned required equals false for the middle name field, we can see that the we can see that it is not there now. The required attribute has gone away because I've specified that I don't want the middle name field to be required, to be a required property. Now I can just copy and paste wherever I don't want the field to be compulsory. I need the contact one to be compulsory, but not contact two. I don't want the email to be compulsory. I don't want the address to be compulsory, and I don't and the group, yeah, group by default it will be stored as general, so that is that. And yes, there we go. And I don't want the, yeah, in fact, if I don't specify the required attribute for favorite, I think, yeah, I think it is necessary, because otherwise the form won't submit. So we'll give required equals false to this also. As soon as we do that, and hopefully if I haven't made any syntax errors, we can see our form is rendering perfectly just like we wanted. So we have removed the required attributes from all the fields which we don't require compulsory, and we can see the first name is required and contact one is required. None of the other fields are required. So that is it for the styling part of this forms. Now next we will be learning how to handle post requests and how to actually store the data which is sent from this form into our database. So now that we are done with the styling and the creation of this Django model form, we need to handle the post requests to this form. Say the user fills up the form and submits. What should happen? So we need to write the logic so that a form gets stored in our database. So let us go to our views.py file. Over here we have this new view which essentially renders the form out to us. So we need to make an if else check over, because there can be two kinds of requests through this view. One is the get request when the user calls the form so that he can fill it, and second is the post request in which user submits the form. So we need to handle both of them. So we will say if request dot method equals to post, then what should it do? So now we can run a quick validation over here. So First, but before that, we need to capture the instance of the form which the user has submitted. So we will create another instance of form which will be equal to the same new contact form which we had created, but the instance will be request dot post. That means the form which the user has submitted. Then we will run a quick check if the form is valid or not. If form dot is valid, this is one of the benefits of using Django model forms. Then it should do what? It should save the form. So if we do form dot save, that will save the form for us. And then I want it to redirect me to the contact list page. So in my case, it will be this. Uh, Let us see how we can do that. So, okay, return. So, oh, oops. So we need to return it to return redirected to contact list. So I'll just specify the name of the model over here, and that will take us to the contact list form. And suppose if the form is not valid, what should it do? So for the time being, what I'm just doing is I'm returning an HTTP response that the form is not valid. Else, else I want it to say return HTTP response. The form is not valid, and that will essentially take care. So let us try out if our form actually works. So let us see if my server is running. Hopefully, if I haven't made any mistakes, yes, my server is running. So let us go to the form. Let us just reload it over here. Let us try to fill in the compulsory. We can fill up one or two more fields. So let us say I fill up. I want to fill up, say, Aman, and I don't know the middle name. I and the Okay, and now this contact number is compulsory. So we must say do this, and contact 2 is not compulsory, so I can keep that empty. And email, I don't know his email, I don't know his address, and he's my friend, so I can just use the group as friend, and I wanted to add it to my favorites. So as soon as I hit save, and if the form submission is successful, it will take me to the contact list page. So let us see. There you go. So there we have our contact is saved. Now that you have made it this far, I want to thank every one of you who are watching. And if you feel this video was of any use to you and you learned something, to give this video a like and share it with your friends. Also, I want to thank Seema Didi and the Developers Community India. It is because of their motivation and guidance that I have been able to complete this YouTube video. This is the very first video of mine, and if the audio quality is not that great, please bear with me, and I'll try to improve it with time. Thank you guys. So now our channel is coming up with a new Flutter series. My friend Darshan will be taking it up, and if you guys are interested, do subscribe to the channel, and I'll link the social media details of Developers Community India and Seema Didi in the description below. Thank you.